Oh, it's been a little while, friends. Been pretty busy lately. Got another freelance job that's taking up a good bit of time, um, but you can't complain. It's really a wonderful thing to be making money from my art skills. I love it. Um, this is where my heart is. Of course, I have my own graphic novel, and my heart's there too, but that's kind of a. I don't get paid to do that. So, and I'm already deeply invested in this story. I've got like 5 issues done prior to, prior to this part of it. I'm just excited. Real good friends with the writer, producer. The coloring is starting on this, and it's just so cool to see it coming together. What I can't wait for is to see how the book will do out in the world. When people get a hold of it and get to finally read it, and it's very wild. It's a wild ride. I really like the main characters. This character by the name of DeBanks, and then there's the main hero. His name is Chad, and it's have like a cool, I don't know, just a kind of a cool banter, it's hard to describe. Like I think every good popular show or movie has two buddies, that are going through an adventure, and how they kind of relate to each other is, I guess you can kind of insert yourself into the relationship in some way, and that's sort of what makes it identifiable in some sense. You know, anyway, that's how I feel about it. So I've been trying to wrap these up, and then get to doing some penciling. Probably going to be a long show. It's 8:30-ish. It's almost 8:30 where I am. Some things to chat about. I did 2 interesting shows this past week. And one is the Patriotic Art live show with Paul Patriarch from the UK, and it's funny. One of my buddies was joking around in the chat saying like, oh, Don's English accent's getting better, So I'm always a little afraid that like he's gonna find it offensive if I do an English accent. He doesn't, it's just me being a goofball. And then prior to that, he had me on a show. He's starting this show he basically plays video games, and then he just does like free chat. I think I talked about it a little bit on one of my other streams. I had Mark Collette on, and they just get to kind of talk about deeper topics, things that Mark specifically doesn't get to talk about on in his political news show. So I thought that was quite cool that Mark kind of had an opportunity to stretch out into some philosophical territory. I'm a big fan of Mark Collette. And I'd like to do more with him. I just kind of haven't thought through like what could be some sort of cultural collaboration. I don't even know that he has time. One of the really great shows Mark Collette did recently was a movie review show. I don't know the guests that he had on. I guess these are other guys in the UK that do have their own shows of some kind, presumably, you know. Excuse me. Anyway, they reviewed a movie called Zulu. So the movie's not 100% historically accurate, but it's about British. It was a specific battle where the British Redcoats fought some Zulu warriors, but they were like desperately outnumbered, and they won. So that's kind of the whole thing of the movie is Michael Caine is in it. You know, Michael Caine's freaking, he's a national treasure, and it's just really nice to see the British, or rather the English, shown in a positive light for a change. You know what I mean? Like all the bullshit anti-white rhetoric that we live in all the time. It's just fucking tiresome, you know. And so it was nice to see, specifically Mark, feeling really happy, you know, and being like, you know, it's just like such a great mood, such a great feeling to see our guys in such a great light. You know what I'm saying? Hey there, it is Working Dark. Good to have you. Been a while. How have you been? So, oops, I just realized something. I gotta get away from this. Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna take a quick second to show you guys some other art that I did. This isn't finished, but this is a piece that I did for the Tuesday live art broadcast on my channel, Patriotic Art Live, and the theme is No More Brother Wars. And so obviously I still haven't colored this. I plan on doing some, putting color in it, finishing it, you know. This is just essentially the pencil work here. And excuse me, there's an expression I think many people in our sphere know. They say that all wars are banker wars. However, in this case, the marionette strings have been cut on the two sides here. And you see that they're shaking hands, but under the soil, you see all the skulls. And so it's a positive piece, but it also has some chilling concepts in terms of, you know, all of the bloodlines that were cut in World War I and World War II. And now, you know, 100 years later, we look back and we know who kind of instigated these things, who managed these things, who profited from these things. So, no more brother wars. That is the theme. And tonight, for the music, we got a bit of a, it's kind of drum and bass, jungle mix. Thought I'd move away a little from the house music a bit. I like house music, but it can get repetitive if like the DJ is not that good. Whereas this kind of music, I think, has a lot more flavor, a little more, well, variety, I suppose, at least rhythmically. So I thought that could be kind of cool. I wonder, well, years ago I was like, oh, I really want to get into, you know, producing techno music and stuff. And I don't know. There's like so many people that do that now that I would have just been washed away in the din of, you know, everybody else doing it. You know? That's fine, whatever. A buddy of mine has got some, he keeps buying all these weird I don't know even what they're called. They're essentially what I would call techno toys, and they're just machines that make weird beeps and boops, and they're all knobs and what have you, and he's just having a really good time creating weird techno music with this stuff. I'm sure he's recording it so that when he goes out to DJ, he can use it in his sets. And I did come to him saying, like, dude, man, I would really, really like to bring my guitar over, and jam out with you guys, or with you, and I've done that with him, but the how we did it previously was he was, spinning on turntables, and then we would just kind of figure it out. Anyway, that's what it is. Yeah, man. What else? Oh yeah, so I'd say the big one was I did a panel discussion with some members of the White Art Collective on a Kai Moro speech, and the speech was on the topic of hate. It's a controversial speech. I won't say that it's not. We were actually a bit worried about it for a while, because we had been planning this for quite a long time, and the guys wanted to make notes and kind of to really do a good job on this show. So, and I think they did fantastically. I was very, very pleased with Luke Mason, and his input on this topic was stellar. It was just really, really good. I knew it would be good. Luke's a close friend, and we have a lot of personal conversations about stuff. And he's super based. So, and then Nellis, of course, is a very old friend, and I pretty much know what to expect, what his positions will be. And then, of course, I have my own thoughts. And I thought it would give a pretty good, sort of somewhat well-rounded conversation on this topic. And so I think we came up with some very interesting ideas, and I made it like a disclaimer ahead of time on the show to sort of say, like, this is not, we're not advocating hate, or we advocating any kind of violence or any dumb shit like that, So that's good. What else can I tell you? What did we learn from the discussion? So one of my points was that the topic has both a personal and a political dimension to it, as concerns the movement. And so this is something that, I felt, excuse me, I personally felt was an important thing to point out. And so, but the two things are related, in the sense that what are we doing in the movement is also a kind of personal lifestyle, in a sense, that, like, we're all tied into the internet culture of what this is, and we know, what's going on. We're sharing memes. We understand the realities of the situation. We're taking risks, it's kind of information warfare, all that stuff. But one thing that, one of my points of view is that I feel that we've gotten to a point where we love to hate too much, and that my advice is essentially that we should love our people more than hate our enemies, and that in a sense we should have that kind of focus. It sounds, well, I don't know what's the word I would use for that. It sounds a little hokey, I guess. Um, but I think it's an important kind of North Star from which we should navigate these things. Um, if it's, I think you do see people that are very, very consumed with hate. And I just don't think that's healthy. I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to say that, you know, I don't know, how do I put this, that, like, they're wrong. You know, they are right. That is a righteous anchor. But simultaneously, I just don't think, you know, the whole point of it is that you have to transmute hate. You have to transmute it and turn it into a force, a force for revolution, you know. And but then there's the danger of, like, kind of letting it overwhelm you, and then sort of your enemies using it against you and all this kind of shit, you know. It's tricky territory. You basically should just go watch the show, and then you'll have a sense of, like, all the awesome points that were brought up. I can't really paraphrase it all. And ladies and gentlemen, it is Robert E. Heil. HH. Anyway, it's good to see you, Robert. What's shaking? What else can I tell you? So, I guess I'm going to move on to this other page for the time being. Ding! We've got a kind of a battle scene happening here. I'm going to move around a little bit and get into the goods. Yeah, a little bit of a different kind of techno we're listening to today. I wouldn't really say that this is like, the standard jungle or bass, drum and bass music. Computer is lagging, and lagging a lot. We're having a lot of weather here, if you know what I mean. And weather is fucking everything up around here pretty bad. Doing a lot of snow plowing. I don't know how it is where you guys are, but it's not too good over here. Anyway, I was actually thinking of doing, maybe in this show, like when I do my streams, to take a break at some point and pull out some comics and like just, go through the comics and kind of just for fun, kind of like, go through the pages and, just talk about the art, the story, the characters, memories or whatever, various things, just to kind of bring a little flavor and shake it up a bit. Speaking of shaking it up, but the freaking computer is really jammed up here. Hold on. Come on, guy. Let's go. Do your job. Are you guys comics fans? Are you just here for the amazing philosophical banter? Is that what it is? what's his name? Graham Nolan he's going to be doing a stream on Mickey Mouse going public domain, which like when I first saw the ad for that, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's, and then I realized, oh no, he's not gonna, because like our guys have been using that, like, for some pretty based memes, and his approach to it is more just, what could people do with like the kind of 1920s Mickey Mouse in comics, that is. Got my hopes up for a second there. When I was a kid, I did collect. There was a company called Whitman Comics, and they're not the only ones. Like I'd say, probably Charlton Comics had stuff like this. Damn, dude! Wow. Computer shit the bed. Let's try again here, guy. Come on, dummy. Why are computers so stupid? Someone explain that to me? Maybe we should get some funky house going. We'll pick up the energy here, so my voice doesn't make you go to sleep. Not 100% sure that I really like my voice, actually. I listen to it and I'm like, it just seems sleepy to me. I don't know when I hear it. Anyway, so I like it when you do that. I want to see more Conan comics that you have. Maybe one day I will show the ones that I have. Oh, very cool. In that case, sir, I will grab a few. The Conan stuff is super fun. That's just great fun. So you can definitely get down with that. I guess I'm gonna have like a little sidetrack into the Hyperborean world. It'll be fun. All right, picking it up. So, listen to music like this, I'm thinking about like there's two big like house parties going on, and like at the end of the month, and I want to go to both of them, but they're the same night. So it's like, which one is going to have more beautiful girls is the question. How do I know? Like I say, house music, it's about the ladies. I think you guys get the idea. That's a classic. So when I was a kid and I was getting into comics or whatever, it was pretty much all superheroes. I didn't really know about Conan, but even so, like I was a kid, like I don't think that really appealed to me. It wasn't until I got to be an adolescent, I guess, when it was like, you're becoming a man, in your little adolescent teenage way, whatever. And that's when I discovered Conan. And when I say discovered, like I was sort of at my comics store. It was just like a little, corner store that had like a comics rack, where I would always go. But then in the back of the store, there's sort of the magazines, and I'd go check out the magazines as well. Then I noticed there was a comic book magazine, and I'm like, what? Oh my God, they make magazines out of this stuff, and it was Conan. So I'm like, well, I gotta check this out, and of course I pick it up, and my mind is blown. I'm just blown out of the freaking water. I'm totally like, what the hell is? But here's the thing, though. It's like something about the magazine and the well, I don't know if it's because it was a magazine or because it was Conan. I'm sure it was because it was Conan, but there was semi-nudity in there. You know, there was sort of like some boobies and butts and that kind of stuff. And I think the whole, you know, coming of age thing, that's it's a thing, you know. But more so, like, there was some not graphic violence, but violence that was not the stuff that you could see in comics at that time, you know. And so, and I don't know, for like a young kid who was really into this stuff, that was kind of a big moment, you know. I don't know if this music is annoying you guys. I can change it if you don't like it. But to me, it's just fun. But what else? So I started collecting that, and then the stories are just so well written. You've got Roy Thomas. For anyone who doesn't know Roy Thomas, Roy the Boy. There's Stan the Man and Roy the Boy, and he followed. He basically, when Stanley left editorial of excuse me, of Marvel, that's when Roy Thomas took over. So he's a big dog. He's not Jewish, which is nice, and very hardcore into, you know, Robert E. Howard's, you know, all of that kind of good stuff, you know. So his writing, it's funny because, like, he's a very kind of nice, mild-mannered kind of guy, but his Conan writing is like brutal, you know. It's just really, really, it's just brutal, you know. He really gets it. Like, he knows the spirit of Conan, you know. So that was, I think that was always great. And then there's just that whole world of Conan, you know, where you're, in the beginning of the magazines, you would always see like a map of, you know, presumably it's like Earth from another time, you know. I don't know, Paleolithic times or so. I don't know. It's sort of like a time in history that we don't know, you know, long, long ago, you know. So that was always fun, and you got to remember, like, as a kid, I used to draw, you know, like fake maps and you know, battle scenes with. It's sort of, this is coming out of like my Star Wars phase and stuff. And so then it, you know, went from that to like barbarians and shit. So it was cool. And like I said, or like I've said before, I had a friend in school who was kind of like my comics buddy. He was another artist. Maybe I'll turn the music down. There you go. So it's you know, it's just really great to have a friend who to kind of share this stuff with, to have the same. Sorry, I keep going off center here. To have the same interest, you know. And it's kind of like, I don't know, if you were 13 and you started learning guitar, you know, and you had your buddy who was learning guitar too, and so you were, you know, sharing in the excitement of that journey or what have you. So that was my comics art buddy, and we. Here's the thing: is like his parents were a lot more lenient. So like he was able to get Heavy Metal magazine, and you know, also like and he also had this like phenomenal little art studio. But I'll tell you, it's like if my life were ever turned into a movie or something, this would have to go in it. So in his room, he had this kind of fairly large walk-in closet, and he turned it into like a little man cave with like a cool black light, and he had what do you call it, like a fish tank, and uh, massive collection of like heavy metal magazines, and and then he would like draw on the walls as well and stuff, and then I don't know how to describe it. It was wicked cool. So as a kid, going over there was always this kind of neat experience, and like whatever comics I got that week or recently, I would grab a stack and throw it in my school bag and bring it to him, show him like, hey, yeah, this is the thing I'm really into right now. You go through phases where you're like, oh, I'm into the Fantastic Four, I'm into Daredevil, I'm into Hulk, or I'm whatever the thing is, and then we both went through like a Sergeant Rock phase, which, if you guys, I guess, know anything, it's like the like World War II comics in Marvel, DC. Sergeant Rock, I believe, is shit. Someone help me out here. Is that DC or is that Marvel? I think it's Marvel. One of my favorite Conan covers is a Dan Adkins cover. That one is really good. Dan Adkins is definitely an art star in my eyes. There. It's another thing too, is just like the whole world of like great artists, and how you can nerd out on like, oh, this cover is done by so and so, or it's inked by this person over that person's pencils, and it's just imagine if rock bands interchanged guitar players and drummers and bass players. That's what comics is like, this issue we have so and so, and that issue is so and so, and it's just really neat. So, just like, years later when I started learning guitar, you get like your favorite bass player, your favorite songwriter, the guitar player, something, and you really idolize them. You want to be like them, And as musicians, this is just a normal thing. You might kind of copy their style, or you learn their songs, and then over time it kind of comes together to form who you are, like creatively, your style and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty interesting. The same thing goes for comics art too. Robert says, I have a map that I got printed out of Hyperborea. Nice. From a Conan comic. Dude, that's sick, man. That is a large poster size. Damn, I'm freaking jealous now. It's really cool. The company that I got it from did a pretty good job printing it. I would eat that shit up. I would totally do it. You know what? Tell you what. I think I'm gonna start doing that. I'll have like a little segment in these art streams to kind of stop, and I think it actually brings a little context as well. It kind of lets people see like, yeah, like here are the things that I'm inspired by, and I'm also kind of trying to emulate. That there's a certain form of emulation that's going on here. You get the idea. So yeah. Cool beans, dude. But yeah, I think it's stuff like this. So this comes back to that topic about fantasy, and how through science fiction and the like, it excites our imagination. It gets us thinking in terms of like other worlds and heroism, and I think it's important that men have heroes, and want to be like Conan or you know whoever your hero is, you know. It's good. I think it's masculine. It's manly. It gives you a sense of like something to look up to in a way, you know. Um, it's something to emulate. You know what I mean? So that's pretty interesting. For me, again, it's like the art has a huge role in these things as well. Um, you know, like I said, you know, a lot of these guys are kind of my heroes as far as like you know their art is concerned. So, but anyway, I'm not so much into the Snoop Doggy Dog stuff here. Um, I'll pass on. Um, so, like something like this, what I'm drawing right here is just an amalgamation of a lot of things that I've seen or drawn, or you know, I guess it's kind of it's a thing, as they say. Um, Whenever I talk about Conan, I think of Dave Martell. You know, I'm like, here we go. You know what? Maybe. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think I could show you guys something wicked cool. A while back, Dave wanted to start a comic book company, and he hired me to illustrate a comic short, like a 5-page short of a Conan character that he created. So I could maybe show you a little bit of that art. You know, it's one of those things you don't want to like give it away kind of thing. But let me grab a page or two from that and let you guys have a peek-a-rooney. Okay, hang tight. Well, I just realized it's in my portfolio, and my portfolio is in my car. I'm like really good at disappointing people, you know. I'm sorry, but I'll do that another time. I should actually follow up with him and say, hey man, let's. You know, I mean, I'm already, you know, I've got 2 freelance jobs going on, and my own comic is on the shelf. So like, maybe I shouldn't ask him, you know, if he's gonna get that started again. But I'm excited by it, you know. I think it's, you know, Bizar Archives Comics. How sick would that be? You know, that would be super sick. So I would love that. The Bizarre Archives short stories are freaking sweet. So, how that would all sort of come together, I don't know. We'll see. You know, I hope that he can pull it off. It's all really about money. You gotta you take risks doing stuff like that. Comics are expensive to produce, so kind of like a thing where it's like, hey guys, if I'm gonna stick my neck out here, are you gonna buy these? Something like that. I think that's kind of what the whole Kickstarter thing's all about. Like, if you can get people excited about something ahead of time and they can pre-order it, then it funds the production. So that might be an option. He's got a really large following. Yeah, it seems to me like that's very possible. Um, This kind of more disco house. Oh, I can't believe I'm sorry, I'm way off the center there. I actually kind of like the music. I don't usually listen to the more upbeat pop electro, but it's working for me now. It's not making me feel so depressed. Yeah, well, you just nailed it right there, bud. That's part of the whole reason why I'm into house music and the like, is that it's just really fun, positive energy. Um, I, I mean, with all my past traumas and the world, hanging by a thread and the fucking, like everything that's going on, uh, it's a really healthy medicine. Um, and like, say, like I used to be into clubbing long, long time ago, and I just, I got married and had a kid and this and that, and I kind of fell out of that. And then one of my martial arts students is a DJ, and so I just went to go see him one night, at this really really cool event. It was like a huge space, outdoor event. A lot of people, nothing but like crazy, crazy cute chicks and stuff too. And I was like, ding. I wasn't married anymore at the time, but and then it just all came back to me, that whole vibe, and I've been dancing ever since. So I think having a friend who's like a big DJ in the scene probably had a lot to do with it too, because just I can go see him, and then you got a friend to talk to, and then he introduces you to his friends, and so on and so forth. And but the real thing for me is just the energy of dancing. It just feels so good, and when you're you're good at it, then people notice that and they want to dance with you and vibe with you, and next thing you know, you got all kinds of fun club friends that you, because they're there every time you go out, So um, so it feels good, and going out and be like, hey, how you been, Um, that's all good. It's helped me keep my sanity in a lot of ways, you know. Yeah, for sure. But depression management, yeah. Um, Shit, dude. I mean, I guess I feel like it's a combination of things. Like, I need to feel that I'm doing something meaningful. um, I don't really like. I mean, I have friends and a social life, etc. But I am a pretty lonely person. You know. I think maybe a lot of that is perhaps something to do with just there's really not a lot of people that get it and or get me. Um, and so you can't really. They do or they don't. You just sort of can't really expect people to get you, I guess. But it's funny when I look at these lizard characters. I think of the. You guys ever hear of slee stacks? Do you know what those are? The old Saturday morning show, Land of the Lost, I think it's called. And I just, for some reason, I've been seeing them pop up on like on my feeds and my social media. You know how you see these like funny videos or advertisements and such. And for some reason, I keep seeing Land of the Lost, and they have these creepy lizard type characters in the story. I feel like whoever wrote the story, those TV shows must have had knowledge of like ancient aliens and such. Hmm. I feel you. Yeah. I this is another topic that I'm not going to get into, but like the sort of the crisis of loneliness in our movement in our society. Um, yeah, it's a problem. Big problem. I think we'll get into the Conan Comics shortly here. You got me all jazzed about that. I'm sort of, what I don't want to do is like spend 10 minutes trying to find find them. Like I've got I've got stacks of stuff around me right now, so it's probably gonna be something within reach. Oh God, this song's silly. What's funny about this song though is like I recently posted you know how there was that debate with Gavin McGinnis and Nick Fuentes, and I posted the little picture for that, the graphic for that, but I put this song on it because like here comes the shit show, like that was the I didn't actually watch it. I just kind of caught the main clip because, like, you pretty much know what's gonna happen. But the fact that the Jewish guy that what's his face, Gavin McGinnis had on, that guy like essentially stabbed Gavin McGinnis in the back on the show was really, that was just the cherry on top. I mean, Fuentes was just laughing his ass off, like, see, we were right, like it was just amazing, it's like such a moment. You gotta wonder, like, when are they all gonna fucking figure it out, like at what time it's all gonna, I don't know, dude, We'll see how it goes. But what else? Yeah, let's. I'm gonna just kind of wrap up this scene here a little bit, and we'll do a little Conan. Conan the man, Conan. Okay, hold your horses there, guys. Have a quick look through some things here. Oh, this is not Conan, but this is another kind of comic that, like, with the popularity of Conan, I think, that came out. Oops, shit. Fight creeps, Conan. All right, we got this fella here. All right, hold on a sec. Yeah, we hit the jackpot here. Hold on. So this music's slightly cheesy, so I'm gonna have to move on here. Get back to some deep house after a commercial. Let's see if I can zoom out here a bit. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna do a little walk down Conan Lane here. Let's see, Conan co-starring Red Sonja. Oh my God. I really love the Warlord comics. This particular one isn't very good. It's just muh. But I mean, it's not bad. But I guess I could get into that a little bit. There's a couple. Okay, let me just do this real quick. So this was one of the Conan books that I got when I was young that I cannot explain to you that when I saw this might even be the first Conan that I ever got. I don't really remember, but when I saw this, I can't even describe to you. Even now, I'm completely like, I'm just sucked into this world. I don't know what it is. I think obviously it's the art, but hold on, I think we got, Wishing Kind is here, cool. Let's see, what does he say? I request that you react live on stream to a most cringy videos. Can you imagine what my vegan body could do to you? By John Sakars. I'll have to look it up after this. You want me to give you like a live reaction type thing? All right, I'll look that up in a minute. Not getting any artwork done here, Don. Anyway, this freaking anatomy is just sick. It's just so sick. I mean, frick, dude. So this is painted by a guy named Joe Jusko, who he's a pretty famous guy in the comics world. Obviously, like his freaking artwork's insane. I had the pleasure of meeting him at Comic-Con. Yeah, Peak is right. Hey, 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 Hippocratic Oath is here. Good stuff. Let the party begin. And anyway, Joe Jusko, you know, he's just like the boss. Like he's a super badass, phenomenal painter. He doesn't do comic illustration. He does covers, like painted covers. Freaking crazy. So anyway, just seeing this made me really want to be Conan. That's all I can tell you. And I guess I still do want to be Conan. And who doesn't, right? Come on, get out of here. We'll all be pissing ourselves laughing, I predict. Okay, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Pardon me. So, Joe Jusko, and I'm like, holy shit, you know, I'm just like a Small Potatoes Comics guy, and he's one of the big guests that, you know, people go to see. And I'm like, dude, frick, wow, yo, you know, what do I even say? I'm nerding out here. So I asked him, like, what's your process? And he explained that he draws these things out in, like, absolute, like, total detail. Like, it's a completely finished drawing with all of the tones. And then he paints over it. And the tone of the charcoal or whatever that he uses, it sort of tells him how does he, you know, how to, you know, blah, 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 whatever. So that's his method. And I thought, okay, well, I'll have to try that out. So here's a really nice piece. Let me back out. This piece here is by Alex Toth, who is another one of the great geniuses of comic book illustration. A very minimalist. We know Alex Toth mostly through his design of Saturday morning cartoon characters like Space Ghost and just various other ones like that. So then you've got your you know, John Buscema here, and like there's your map straight away. You know, like I said, in the beginning of every book, you kind of get a little introduction to the world. It is maybe a line, maybe it's akin to something like Sinbad, you know, or something like that. It's this other world. Hey, Mac is back. Excellent. Take on Richard Corbin. Dude, I freaking love Richard Corbin. Dude, don't even get me started, man. I'll lose my mind. It'll just ooze out of my ear. Let's see. Robert Powell says I have a door poster of Mary Jane in a bikini painted by Joe Jusko. It's really good. I bet it is. Yeah. Evening CG, what's up? Good to have you here. Greetings. Western Kind. Damn, man, we got the whole crew's here. So I was talking earlier about taking a break from my comics to do a little fun romp, and somehow Conan came up. But when we get into something like this, there's this notion of the brushwork. So like the fluidity of the brushwork. Now, granted, there's a guy named Ernie Chan who is the inker of this, but I would say that he really understands John Buscema's work very, very well. There's a certain sometimes there's just the perfect match of, it's kind of like, you know, I don't know, like, you know, guitar player vocalists or something in a band, you know, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant or something. Like they're kind of like those guys. So straight out of the gate, our man Conan is, you know, his horse gets shot and then he gets attacked by these like Neanderthals, which he, like, just to show like the strength of this, you know, he's able to like swing this dude right into a rock and smash his brains, and then here's a real nice way to open it up. Like it looks like, oh well, he just got attacked by one guy, but no, it's like a setup. You know, it's an ambush. So what a beautiful composition. You've got this foreground area here with this guy climbing in here. He can see what he's armed with. This dude looks super badass. What an insane axe that he's got here. Somebody again in the background. The use of these stone kind of mountain pillar thingies, whatever these rock forms, really they frame the situation really nicely. Conan is, you know, surrounded by this rock here, so that frames him beautifully. That's a nice kind of mountain shot in the end, and then kabang, you know, the shit hits the fan. And like I was talking about, like the gore in this, like seeing a chopped off hand flying through the air. Like when I was a kid and I saw that, I was like, you know, like I was just like, but for some reason, what is it? It's that weird morbid curiosity that you get, so, you know. And even Conan's face is just like very swarthy, you know, it's very dark and swarthy, super masculine. So it's kind of also I really love the landscape art in this is beautiful, like the handling of the trees, the mountains, you know, the storytelling is of course, you know, classic John Buscema stuff. I've always liked Conan's profile. You know, he's kind of like small forehead and huge jaw, you know, like the kind of like. But anyway, in this story, it's quite something. It looks like, you know, he hears, you know, somebody in the woods or in the brush is trying to kill him, and you know, he's always on his guard, you know. But it turns out like, oh, it's a woman. Whoa, ooh, it's a woman, you know. So then this and that, he ends up killing this woman, but tragically, it turns out that he's just orphaned this little girl in the story. And so he's like, oh, you know, it's this crime. Young though she seemed, the girl had a child. Is there no end to this nightmare? Who are you, little one? Do you have a family, a father? Is your family nearby? She understands nothing I say. And then this kind of this sort of like, oh shit, now I've got to save this child, you know, and take her on this journey. I don't want to, you know, this is no journey for a child or whatever. And then every time he wakes up, she's a little older and a little older, and he's thinking like, what the hell? Like, what sort of magic is this? And then finally one day she wakes up and she's a woman, and then welcome to Conan's world. So like, I don't know, anyway, you get the idea. There's always some kind of sword and sorcery magic thing going on here. This sequence right here is like, just like smashing this guy's face in, and you know, there's always like a restaurant scene, you know, where like there's some kind of creepy, mysterious guy who's, you know, like, oh, I shall report back to my master that Conan is arrived or something. Then there's got to be a little bit of hanky-panky, and then you know, of course the wizard approaches, da-da-da, on and on and on, you know. So, and the lighting in this, look at this crazy boat that's like underground, and like all these, like, it's just so imaginative. So again, you know, as a young artist, a young budding artist, I'm like, God, how do they do this? How could I ever get this good? How could I, you know. So, and there's kind of like, you know, a flashback to this island where there's these girls, and they're all, there's some kind of enchanted spell on them where they're like, oh yeah, well, let's take them on the ship. And then when the moon comes out, they all turn into these sort of werewolf type characters. And so anyway, that's kind of a little bit of Conan action for you there. Kind of a little jaunt. Okay, so I'm taking requests here to do a cringe video reaction. So I have to check the chat and see what was the name of that video you wanted me to watch. 70s comic panel choice goes hard big time. Brain food. MH. Oh, we got a new friend. Excellent. Welcome, MH. I don't know what your channel is, but awesome art. Yeah, I do comic book art. I do white well-being. I do politics, culture. Let's see. Western Kind says, I have secured 4 pounds of barbecue brisket and now to feast. Yes. You guys are like responding to the story. I get it. So what's this YouTube video? I'm trying to find it in the chat here. Can you imagine what my vegan body could do to you? By John Sakars. Oh man, I have a bad feeling about this. All right, I'm gonna look it up on YouTube and I'll do a little reaction. So hang tight. John So this is like a music video, or what is this exactly? Let's see. God's Trump is hard to listen to. Sorry, I had to steam also. Yeah, there's, we're kind of, that's a big thing in the conversations these days right now is just, everybody's, the thing that's annoying me is how people are falling for Ramaswamy, Vivek and all that shit. That to me is irritating. So, can you imagine what my vegan body could do to you? Here we go, folks. Oh man, I don't know if this is like family friendly. Is this PG? Tell me this is a joke and not for real. Oh god. Nazi things. Is this a freaking real? This is real, isn't it? Oh, dude, I can't even get through this, man. Animal liberation. I really, really can't. I just can't. I'm done. Okay, that's as far as I can get with that. I can't tell if this like an actual, like, is that like an Antifa guy that's making some kind of a sexy video or something? Is that what that is? This is real. He goes hard AF. Yeah. That's some pathetic shit there, my man. That is some pathetic shit right there. Naughty things. Yeah. Well, I mean, I do, even though I swear on this channel, I do try to keep it clean. That Conan stuff was probably as spicy as we can get here. But give you guys a little update on some pages, show you what I've been doing, for people who haven't maybe been here in a little bit, and kind of see a little bit about the story. It's kind of nice, give you a little background. Oh, dude, cringe is, I mean, again, I was really wondering, like, this has to be a joke, right? I mean, this is somebody making fun of vegans and Antifa. That's the only thing I could make out of that. Yeah. So what's awful is that I won't say like I know people like that, but I know of people like that are just whatever in the city and on the scene and out and about, and it just like it's like I don't trouble myself with it too much, but it's thanks for taking the request. Yeah, well, great. Now I need to take a shower after watching that, you son of a gun. It would have been a perfect parody, but it's sincere. See, now that's what's even worse. Like the shitty artwork in the background. And I mean, like, what in the hell is going on with these people that they think like vegan hood or whatever is being vegan is somehow sexy or something? Kind of reminds me of I probably shouldn't talk about it, but like there's this girl I know who she's in that hippie culture, And like, if you're within 4 feet of her, you can like smell her. Like, she just doesn't. She doesn't. I don't know if she doesn't shower or, but she doesn't wear like anything that would cover up that. It's nasty, dude. So it's, and every time, so like she's actually the girlfriend of a guy that I know, and so I'm kind of like compelled to be nice to her, you know. And I, of course, I am. I'm not like, I'm never really mean or rude to anybody, but even people who I really, really am angry at, I'm still pretty civil with those people. But whatever. Um, and she'll give me a big smile, like, "Hey, big guy," and I'm like, no, let's not, let's not go there. If she starts singing, "Hey, what my vegan body could do," then I'll know straight away. Like, I better run for the hills. Oh man, let's get some tunes back on though. CG, what was your recent show about? Um, and you seem to do a lot of shows. Am I wrong about that? But you seem to do a lot of shows. I was just talking about my panel discussion on Kai Moro's speech on hate, which is turned out to be a very, very good show. And I sent a copy or a link to it to Kai Moros, and he is over the moon. Like, he loves it. He thinks it's like, he's really, really, really pleased with it. So we're feeling pretty good about that. And I feel like I really want to do more. I want to do more panel discussions on his speeches. Get his speeches out there more. Um, I feel like it's a good time for that. Just like with what's going on in the world. Um, I know a lot of our guys are kind of like annoyed with Trump or whatever. I don't really know where I am anymore. I guess my feeling is that like there is no other option. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Trump is the only other option. And yes, I know, but it's like there's no, like, Jared Taylor isn't running for president. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what else have we got? I feel like with Trump, we at least have somewhere to a point where we can jump off, where we can go from there. Let me turn this down a hair. Um, Here's an interesting topic. I'm gonna get hear what your thoughts are on this. So just today, I saw it's an interview with that Harari guy, that little gay Jew creep, who talks about, oh, humans are hackable animals and useless eaters and all. You guys, I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about. And in the interview, he was asked, what do you think? Like, do you think Trump is going to win? And he said there's a distinct possibility that he will. And that if that happens, it could be the death blow to globalism. And I'll be honest, I was shocked to hear that. I was really shocked to hear that. But then, of course, I'm thinking, okay, well, this is anything that he puts out, or that the World Economic Forum puts out, like, that it's some kind of psyop or some kind of, like, you know, it's not an accident. Like, they don't let anything come out that's not intended somehow to control the public. The most recent World Economic Forum convention meeting, whatever the fuck they call it, the head of the EU was saying that in the next 2 years, the biggest problem is not going to be like violence or this or that, but it's going to be misinformation. Misinformation, guys. Yeah. Be careful. Watch out for that misinformation. So that's obviously bullshit. That's, clearly. But I think, to me, it does indicate that they they're losing some control. Am I right? I mean, what's your take? I really would like to hear your take on that. How do you interpret these things? That's pretty much what I'm asking. Um, I don't want to be naive, but at the same time, I do kind of feel like these are actually good signs. Um, so yeah, I really want to hear your thoughts on that. Yeah, that would be very helpful. Shit, get out of here! You talking about imminent rain is here? The fuck, man, get the. So imminent rain. I was just talking about our panel discussion on Chimeros. Um, let's see. Want me to come on and talk? Well, I'm on my phone. I'm not on like StreamYard, so I can't. I don't. I wouldn't. I don't honestly know how to do that. I'm just like streaming straight into YouTube. You know what I mean? Um, StreamYard is what I use to like bring people on and stuff. But I have no idea how to do that with my current setup. We could we could hook something up or set something up. What I would really like to do actually is to set up another panel discussion again on on like a different Chimeral speech. Luke Mason, since you're here, I will officially invite you. I thought you were fantastic on that. I think actually you and CG together could be kind of dangerous because you're both like some of the really based guys that I know. There's a kind of a spectrum out there of, I think probably I'm pretty based, but like, I think you guys are more based, so. Oh, shucks. Anyway, that would be something to do. Yeah. But I'm just, I don't know. There's something that's bothering me is I always feel like, what more could I be doing? And I brought this up here and there. Yeah, I know I don't have like a 1,000 hours in the day and this and that, but I don't know. It's just, I guess I've been having this thought that like, you have to do something. If you really want to like make an impact, you've got to do something. And I don't want to use the word drastic because that sounds fed posty, like not drastic, but you've got to do something that has like some kind of big impact on people, And it's absurd to be like, oh, how can I get attention? That's not what I'm fucking talking about, I'm talking about what could I do with my resources, my channel, that, would have a big impact. I've been, I do shows and stuff, but like, I don't know, I might get like 400 views or something, and I'm like, these shows actually are good quality shows. There's good, content. It's important. There's things that are useful. But is it still just academic, or is it still just entertainment? You know what I mean? And I'm like, how do I break out of that? How do I produce some kind of content that actually makes a change? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that's been on my mind quite a lot. And I don't think it's so much a content problem. I think it's an audience problem. Like, our guys already know what's going on. Like we've already changed. You know what I'm saying? It seems to me like it's more about reaching an audience that is kind of locked up in like Facebook or something, like boomer tier, like, I don't know, Trump land or some. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. So I guess we will have to wait and see how that all plays out. Let's read the comments. Let's just discuss next meet. Okay. Thanks, bro. I really liked talking with CG on the last occasion. Sup, bro? Hey, 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 Vox is here. Welcome, Vox. Imminent Rain says this graphic novel looks extremely based and is interesting. Greek gods, reptilians, robots, ancient symbols. Holy hell, bro. Yeah, dude, that's kind of what I'm telling you. Is like when this comes out, it's because it pings the ancient aliens culture. All of the characters are essentially memes that are turned into superheroes and supervillains. The Deep State, Drain the Swamp, Chads, E-Girls, Grug, Clown World, all of those things that we know are I've created, or the writer and I have created them into superheroes and supervillains. So just a quick peek one more time. If I can grab the cover, it's not really handy here, but well, anyway, that's the idea. Vox says, unfortunately, it's all about pandering. So, yeah, now you're starting to get into it. This is what I'm discovering is that, like, so let's take a look at Nick Fuentes. So, for starters, he is like the 20s market. Like he is the that generation. He's the snarky, you know, says all the things he's not supposed to say, kind of like the smart ass in the classroom, so to speak, and people his age, like, they flock to that. They flock to that, and I feel like it's a thing. Whereas and like, and here he's having dinner with Trump. Like, something's up. Something's up. How did he network his way? How did he get to where he is? There's things about him that I think are very questionable and very cringe, but at the same time, I appreciate what he has done. That is like calling out the Jews and various things of that nature. I'm not into these sort of I don't know how to phrase this. Like, I'm not a Christian nationalist. I support Christian nationalism. I think Christians should come together as nationalists. It's just that I don't have like that sort of religious orientation. But like, I just feel like he's just too young still. Like, he still has a lot of growing up to do. So it's going to be a while. But if you look at the bombasticness of it, that I think is what sells it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, that's, I'm an adult. I'm not gonna be doing that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So let me do some pencils here in a second. Let's see. Unfortunately, let's see. Best and Kind United guys. I just had a random thought of a way for you to save money. Get a bidet spray the toilet paper bills away. I don't know what a bidet is, so I'm not sure that I get the joke, but and there you go, folks. So anyway, and the music is, the computer shit the bed against. Like, where I am, there's like a really bad snowstorm, and it's just really hard to get like steady connection, it seems. So let's see, maybe we'll do like relaxing jazz with them. I feel like I should probably use a darker pencil so you guys can see better as well. Do you want me to do that? Give you something to see. I don't know. All right, so this is what's up. I've got to take this and turn it into a finished page. So this is my, what do you call that? My, sort of like a little notebook, but they're the storyboards for the story. How'd you guys like the Conan stuff? Is that nice? I've got a lot of good stuff. Like, I've got crazy amounts of cool books, comic books, art books, crazy good stuff. Like I could be, you know, I could do a whole show of just like showing you my collection, because it's like so good, and there's such variety in as well. So anyway, oh, I see we got some. Let's check this out here. The music went out. Hell, perhaps there's a good John Sicard playlist. I'm gonna have to say no, but yeah, I'm super freaking annoyed at my computer right now. It's kind of like I need to reboot it. I think maybe I'll reboot it just to get some damn music. Hold on, come on. All right, let's go. But da, da, da. I love the Conan stuff. I enjoyed seeing the classic Conan art. It was interesting. Yeah, it's comics today. It's just a whole other. It's just a whole other world now. Like there, there was this time when like everybody was sort of not copying, well, kind of copying manga, anime, and like that was like the hot thing to everybody had to try to show that they had Japanese influence in their style. I never went down that road, myself or whatever. But you have like kind of art stars that come and go. They're like real popular for a while, and people that kind of try to copy their style. You know, that's the thing about these these publishers is they don't like I had an opportunity to break into the comic book industry, and the publisher that I got connected with, he was, and I showed him my portfolio, and I had one piece in there that was like a copy of a Mike Mignola Hellboy piece. And I mean, when you're copying somebody's work, which I'm a big Hellboy fan, then you're fucking copying it. It's not your style. You know what I mean? It's like you're doing it because you like the art, right? It's what the whole point of it is. Well, he sees that and he's like, "Oh, I like that style. Can you do this book in the Hellboy style?" And I said, at the time I wasn't really, frankly, my art, or rather my technique, wasn't really good enough. I said I could, but I ended up losing the job because I couldn't. But in the end, though, I sort of thought like that's sort of a shitty thing. Like you want Mike Mignola, go fucking hire Mike Mignola. Like don't, I don't know. I just was annoyed by that, But they don't really care. They just care about sales. They just want you to, do something that people will buy. I can kind of understand that, but I still don't give a shit. And I actually met Mike Mignola at New York City Comic Con. I think it was called the Big Apple Con. Many years ago when I was trying to break into comics, I took a trip to NYC and brought my portfolio. I've been working real hard, and I had sort of like comic book art, but then I also had really what would be more authentically my art. And he loved my art. He was like, your work's beautiful. He literally said, I can't give you any advice, like, because he loved my own work. And what I really should have figured out is like, don't try to make comic book art. Like, just do your original artwork. That kind of work that I was doing, however, was more like, watercolor based, and it's not something you would normally see. It was just different. Um, but like it was, for me, it was a lot of fun. It was like a big moment. He, you know, signed a calendar and gave it to me as a gift. It's this and that, whatever. It was a good moment though. Oops. Sorry, I keep moving the art off screen. Let's see. Getting back to the chat. Imminent Rain says, I'll have to catch Conan in the replay. I'm a huge Conan respecter. I think I could actually pull out some more Conan just for you, since you're such a good bud. Maybe do a little, maybe do another show, a little discussion on that. If you guys vote for it, and you vote yes. Um, well, Big Dave says manga is gay. Yeah. It's so not us, It's so not us. I've always had a problem with it. I don't like have an axe to grind or whatever. It's just it's not us, It's Japanese. What annoys me though is how our people embrace it so much. I'm like, you know, ah, we have such a rich, amazing history of incredible, incredible comics artists, and like it's way better than anything from manga. Way way better. Manga is like McDonald's compared to our stuff, our guys. And but no, it's like this is the thing about people's behavior. Like oh, it's foreign and exotic, so it's better. Everybody likes it, so I have to like it too. So this shit fucking annoys the hell out of me. But welcome to the world as it is. There you go, and now you know. Stay on track here. Okay, you can see it. Okay, music. Hello. Ding. Should I just sing for you guys? Just sing a song? I had a buddy over last night. We were having a great time jamming. It was good stuff. Come on, music. Back in high school, I read Watchmen and V for Vendetta. Very good. The Killing Joke, Super God. Damn, dude, you're well read. That's good stuff. Vox says, I ran into some chick over 20 years ago reading Conan, Pulp Fiction stuff in McDee's of all places. No kidding. Wow. Dude, did you put a ring on it? Oh, but she really died. Oh, whoa, whoa. But she really died the original. She really died the original epic stuff. I think you have a little typo there. She really liked the original stuff, maybe. Anyway, Imminent Rain says, hell yeah, man. I'm an Alan Moore appreciator. Okay, dude's a genius. Hey, CG's back. Western Kind says, Imminent Rain. He is quite creative indeed. Ichi the Killer is okay. Yeah, like I'm saying, I don't hate it. It's just we have our own history of comics. And since you guys are all here, I think I'll jump back into the Conan stuff. Robert says I like some of the black and white art style. I kind of like it better, to be honest. I don't know what it is, but there's something. It's just it's just like the raw stuff. It's just like the basic stuff. I don't know what it is. I love black and white comics. I don't know. I must be crazy. Don't really care for the storylines. Oh, you're talking about manga. I'm sorry, because I'm talking about this. So we're gonna get there in a sec. And it would really be great to have some music. If anime stayed awesome, the Fist of the North Star, I could have been less gay. Yeah, yeah. There is some good stuff out there. Like whatever. Consuming large quantities of anime is just one form of disassociation. Yeah. See, this, I brought this up. I probably brought it up several times, but it's like, can someone explain to me like the cute anime girl emojis that everybody has in our scene? I mean, it's like a cute way to have like swastikas on and stuff like, you have like a cute anime girl with like a German soldier uniform on. Anyway, so let's get into it. Once again, you've got the intro with the map. This is interesting here. This part is called Shem. You gotta wonder, what does that mean, Shem? I think you guys might know what I'm talking about. Up here's Asgard, Hyperborea, Vanheim, Cimmeria, Pictish Wilderness, Nemedia, Aquilonia, Zingara, Argos. So Stygia, Dafar, Kush. So all of these things have kind of like, the Hindu Kush. Dafar almost sounds African. Argos has like a Greek quality to it. Shem would be like Israel, maybe. I don't know. Corinthia, what would that be? Italy. You get the idea. It's a neat world here. But once again, you've got. It's strange how violence is so aesthetically beautiful and pleasing in these books. Like, to me, the greatness of visual art and this, like, stuff like this in comics. Look at this could easily be a painting, like in a museum. You know what I mean? The flow of the eye, foreground, middle ground, background, the thrust of the story, even the kind of the empty space that allows it to breathe, the use of the smoke as a negative space to highlight these darker areas, and everything is just moving and undulating. Even the line work in the mountains and such, that there's still, everything's alive. It's just really just quite amazing. For me, like, when I hear this, like, I can hear the horses galloping. I feel like I guess that's just me, though. Maybe that's just my imagination. I'm fascinated with, like, the different ethnicities and nations, and the kind of clothing and various things that kind of harken back to another era. Here you have, like, these, the killing of political prisoners, and all this political intrigue, but then you also have to have your feasts with your busty broads and your barrels of beer and all the rest of it, and here, so it just goes back and forth with, like, sex and violence, sex and violence, sex and violence. Check this out, though, man. There's this kind of like dragon dance to entertain the troops here. Conan is like, what do you call it when you pay a mercenary? He's a mercenary, and they pay him because he's good, right? Well, Conan is no dummy. He notices that these men in this, whatever, this dragon dance, they've got swords, like, so he's two arms, dog brothers. That whore son of a king means to transform this dragon dance into a dance of death. Rah! And aye, and into it we go, into the fray. So all this, swords swinging and screaming and fighting, and limbs flying, and oh man, that graphic violence. When I was a kid, that would, like, my guts would just wrench up when I saw something like that. I feel like, pretty crazy stuff. Let's see about the chat. I like some of the black and white art. Anime state, awesome. We read that. Greek, yes. That's a real thing in Japan. They cosplay over there as Nazis. True, which is pretty amazing. There's a whole subculture of that. I think our guys just find it fascinating. I'm new to Conan. I love Robert E. Howard's prose. He has a driving poetic style during battles. I love how he can paint a scene with very few words, and who doesn't like Conan's drinking and wenching, yes. Well done, well done. So I think it's pretty freaking awesome that if it weren't for these comics, I don't know, like, how do I say this? Roy Thomas, he brought Conan back to life for a whole new generation of people. And I mean, this is not Spider-Man, this is not Mary Jane, and this is not Fantastic Four. This is real manly shit right here, it's really, I guess, more adult, right, in that sense. what's his name? John Buscema, the artist here. His art style was the Marvel art style. Like it was the style. So people were trying to copy John Buscema in order to fit the corporate style, you know. And John Buscema later said like he actually didn't like drawing superheroes, but he loved drawing Conan. Like Conan was his gig, you know. That was like where he really shined as an artist. All right, connection to the internet is down, so I am gonna work my wizardry and make it come back. Oh, internet, you must come back. I'm in the middle of a show. So part of a lot of this to me is the environments, the costumes. But this is a beautifully composed piece here. There's no panel at all. It's just this kind of montage almost, the way the empty space in there works. John Buscema is just fantastic with body language. Oops, sorry. With body language, facial expression. Here's an interesting scene where this witch puts some kind of powder in the fire, and Conan's sleeping, and the powder in the smoke gives him a kind of like hallucinations, and he's like fighting off these demons, swinging his sword around at night, and the troops are beginning to think that he's lost his mind, so they all mutiny on him. They leave him. They're like, you're, you know, something's gone wrong with you, and you know, we're abandoning the mission. And now it's just him and the witch. And but time for a cougar attack, you know. It's just, you know, because that's Conan, right? It's just, oh shit, it's time. I better throw this cougar right off the cliff, you know. Oh no, oh, he came back. All right, I'll just grab him and slam him into a wall and break his back. Anyway, it's funny though, but the cougar somehow doesn't die and he gets to walk off, you know. You can kill men like nothing, but be nice to cougars, you know. So anyway, it's just a fun little romp here. I guess it's a lot better than looking at my art. We're gonna get some tunes going here in uno momento. All right, these guys are pretty good. Oh, we got a live session. Is that live? No. Well, whatever. We're gonna get some tunes going on in a sec. A lot of times there'll be like different artists. So like this is a different artist here. Oh, look at this. Oh, you guys are in for a treat. Oh, that's some Red Sonja. This one, she gets raped in this issue here, and it's kind of like, holy shit, I can't. You know, as a young guy, and I got this. I'm like, they're showing rape in a comic book. Like, what the fuck? Holy, you know, that kind of blew my mind as a kid. You know. I mean, it's not graphic. You can't see things, you know. But anyway, they got a nice little section here on the movie. Pretty cool. So let us, I don't know if, I get a lot of like strikes on YouTube because I play people's music and shit, whatever. Anyway, here's a couple bits from Conan, some photos. The movie, and then oh yeah, there he goes. That's a famous scene right there where it's interesting if you notice. I don't know if you can see, but his necklace is like the black sun. It's that kind of white nationalist symbol right there. So now this is interesting because this is John Buscema, but it's a different inker. This guy's name is Dan Bulandi, and his inking is like a lot more pretty. You know what I mean? It's just, if you looked at, you know, compare the inking from the other story to this, it's just more wispy and more kind of like, I don't know. It's all I can say is more pretty. I don't know how else to call it. You know, it's not that kind of. It's energetic. It's beautiful. It's definitely beautiful, but it's just a different sort of a flavor, I guess. And I can't really feel John Buscema coming out through this so much. Like that's a John Buscema panel right there for sure. You know, And like the way that this is composed, that's totally John Buscema. This is John Buscema. But like we lost his art because the inker just kind of turned it into his own sort of, you know. Let's see what you guys are talking about. I bet Groypers would enjoy the rapey comics. There was some really weird stuff in Clown Shock. I don't know what Clown Shock is. You should check that comic out if you've never seen it. No, I'll have to look it up. I don't know. So, guys, this is the world of Conan the Barbarian. And now we got our music back. Crank that up a bit. Get myself energized. Now I'm ready to like swing some swords and shit. I'm ready to start chopping things. Damn. I'm letting my inner Conan out. Yeah, we're getting our jam on here. So, I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but we had there's 4 feet of snow outside right now. And a whole lot of plowing and shoveling going on in Donald Kent's neck of the woods. Roads are shut down. There will be no going out in this weather. The state does not allow it. So I had the day off from work, which is okay with me. I get a lot of my freelance work done. I'm grateful I've got freelance work, you know, to compensate. Let me zoom in a bit so we can see this a bit better. But yeah, Imminent Rain and CG. Let's do another Kai Moros panel discussion. I'll check with Kai on, you know, some other content. There is actually a new speech that he put out. I played it in the background on one of my art streams, but it would be better to do like a deep dive on it, you know, and it's a lot longer, so we kind of have to figure out how we're going to break it down. I'll send you guys the link to the speech. You can kind of take some notes or whatever. I really got to tell you, Imminent Rain, your commentary on the Kai Moro speech that I did was excellent, dude. It was so well thought out and well spoken. I feel like, you know, I really want to do more with you. I think we should be doing more together in terms of creating content, you know. That would be awesome as always, dude. Yeah, so I don't really want to hear you talking. I want to hear music, so shut up. Thank you. That's nice of you. This little image I'm drawing right here reminds me of a photo that I have. It's said that it's like a Nephilim, like a real Nephilim. I have a lot of like photos in my UFO studies that I keep, you know, photos of aliens and various things that. And you show, you know, I had a discussion with a friend recently about UFOs, aliens, and shit. And he's very, very skeptical, which is totally fine. That's totally fine. And I'm like, well, you know, and then I send him some images that I believe are real. And I guess there's a kind of a thing that happens where it's like, oh shit, you know, I that's so horrifying. I don't want to believe it's real, you know. So this is a whole other thing. I am all over the place sometimes. I just like, I don't know. It's like this show is like stream of consciousness, you know. So get used to it. If you guys don't mind. So just a little recap here. So like there's this huge stone that the main character knocks over, and then it kind of cracks open, and then there's this dude that is in kind of like hibernation inside it, and he comes out, and this and that. So yeah, that's what I'm drawing. I need this so I can see better. Okay. There you go. Now we're grooving. Shit. All right, let's see. You guys are gonna stop off, bro. Have a good night. All right, man. Thanks for joining us, buddy. I'll talk to you soon, okay? Robert says there's only a few inches outside where I'm at. It was kind of warm midday today. Melted and good. Wow, bro. Thanks. I really enjoyed the topic. And there you go. Alright, so I'm back out a little bit. Kind of sketch things out here a bit. I'm not digging this. Come on, dude. Oh. There we go. That's a bit better. Excuse me. Alright. Oh, I got a little problem with the composition. I have to figure this out. The Chimera speech was interesting, I think, when he talks about our overlords talking about hate. The real word is dissent. Any dissent can be labeled as hate. That's so good. That's such a great way to put it. Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. Snow dumped on us so hard today, hoping for a snow day tomorrow. So I was describing in the panel discussion how the same people. Well, for starters, I don't take advice on hate from people who hate me. You know what I mean? Like, but it's the same people behind critical race theory and all that other shit that are pushing the, hate has no home here bullshit. They don't. I'm sorry, man. I really need some fucking water. Anyway, like out of one side of their mouth, they're all like, white privilege and white supremacy and domestic terrorism and shit, and then they're like, oh, white man, don't, you're at fault for everything. You don't be hateful, hate speech, blah 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 blah. And it's like it's gaslighting, it's psychological warfare is what it is. I'm feeling more and more and more that Trump is going to win. And I don't really know. I can't say for sure or whatever, something. I don't, nobody has all of that knowledge, but let's say he does. So there's going to, the hate is going to be on full blast. But the thing is, I even feel like a lot of, how do I say this? Like, a lot of liberals are not really so liberal anymore. Like, they understand that, it's all fucked up. Like, they were duped. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. I guess we'll see. But, like, the way that it played out with all the riots and shit last time, when Trump won. Fuck, dude, that was crazy. Those were crazy times. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the election? I mean, I think it strikes one as like they're not gonna let it happen. They're gonna do some fucking thing, that will like rig the election somehow, whatever that is. We don't, we'll find out, and it could be like, oops, we got a nuclear war suddenly. Okay, hold the election. We got to deal with nuclear war. Like it could be any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? So whatever that is, I don't know, but it just seems like, it's gonna happen. Whatever that thing is, it's gonna happen. So sorry, I get like this. I think I talk so much and then my throat dries out. So democracy's over. It was fucked up to begin with. It's a shit system. Again, I don't know, but people still fucking believe in it. They still, even normie Republicans are, save our democracy. That's fucking imbeciles. But I don't know. I guess I do get messages, and when I say messages, I mean like it with among all the news I consume, I get information that comes across like it's actually gonna work. It's actually gonna happen. Like he's actually gonna save the country, and I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. But there's a lot of data or information, or people talking this and that, news, lawyers, this, that, and the other thing, that make me go, I'm really. I guess I'm on the fence or something. I don't know what to tell you, but here's a point I'm trying to make, though, is like I'm not. To me, being black-pilled is just as biased as being naive. Like there's a lot of naive people out there that just trust the system, but being black-pilled about it's not gonna work, nothing's gonna work, blah, 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 negative. To me, that's kind of bullshit too. Like I don't buy into that. So because like you don't know any better than they know. You know what I'm saying? Until the shit goes down, we will not know. We can only guess. And so like what I'm looking for is people to say, oh, I found out about this, or I found out about that, and then like add that to the information that we have about this situation, and that way we can kind of calculate or get some prediction or a sense of, well, maybe this will happen. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. I'd be happy to hear it. Copium. What a nasty word, like copium. It's really, there is. I mean, people do copium or whatever. I do copium. It's like it's a thing. But I have done it. Like I thought for sure Trump was going to win 2020. I had another friend who's extremely educated and super, super based. And we went and had like a very, very intense discussion about why do you think Trump's going to win and why is he not going to win? And my friend was right. Biden stole the election. I don't know, where can it go from here? One thing I do feel though is that like the notion that like a leader is gonna fix it all, I think is a horrible, lazy bullshit way to look at this situation. That we've got to do something. We've got to, other than, streaming on YouTube. I mean, like we as citizens have got to do something. That could come down to just like, not complying with things. I mean, you guys are generally knowledgeable about these topics, so you know what I mean. But, I was listening to some comedians talk the other day about how fucked up everything is, and they're calling it out. They're just straight calling it out, And then the one was like, but there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. And, yeah, you could, but you'll get arrested, like that kind of thing. Sure, there's something you can do about it. And now for commercials. Hey, it's the Dog Kent Show, where you get all the information you need about life and death. All right, sorry, I have that little. Just a word from our sponsor there. But let's see what's shaking. Kaimoros, snow. I don't understand how he can save the country, though. Things got really fucked up when he was in office the first time. What's it going to be like the second time? Even if we have a political messiah, there would still be all kinds of resistance and chaos. For my part, I want to be prepared. Okay. The nations of Western kind need men dedicated to white well-being and control at the helm of the ship that is the nation. Absolutely, I strongly agree with that. Race first. Okay, Hippocratic Oath says, I think when Kai said we need to draw on hate, I think he meant disgust, which is a noble trait. Adolf Uncle A was disgusted with the decadence in Germany. God was disgusted by the Nephilim banging the humans. Okay. So, yeah, that goes down another rabbit hole a little bit, because how I look at it is anger. I see it as righteous anger. That, like, righteous anger that is not sort of quenched becomes hate. When you see people hurting you, your people, and all the shit that we see all the fucking time. You're righteous in your anger, and when it happens over and over and over, and the patterns and the patterns and the patterns, then that turns into hate. You know what I'm saying? Which is totally natural, real, and ultimately, what's the word I'm looking for? How do I put this? Like, it's for our survival. It's a type of survival instinct, I guess, if you will. It's a mechanism that helps us survive. If people are brutalizing us and all the rest of it, I don't need to explain it to you. You guys aren't stupid. You get it, So yeah, that's a thing. So that comes back to what I was saying about, like, there's a personal and a political dimension to this. And just the personal side of it being, like, don't get sick with this hatred. Don't become, like, don't let it sicken your soul or rot you out in a way. But, and with that kind of, like, self-control, if you will, transmute the hate into power and energy and focus and what's the word? Activism, of some kind. There it is. And then Nullis read an amazing quote. Excuse me. Solzhenitsyn? I was afraid I'm going to say his name wrong. But he's a Russian guy. What's the book? The something archipelago. He was a prisoner in the Gulag during Russia's revolution, communist revolution. And I think you guys know who Solzhenitsyn is. You should. I mean, that's part of our lore. And essentially, the quote was something to the effect that, like, you don't. How did he put it? It's like, it's the man who just wanted to be left alone, that when he's driven beyond, or whatever, and driven by hate, etc., that he is the one that will kill with like unbridled hatred, that he will become like the true terror that you can't even imagine, And apparently, like, this is what he saw. This is what happened in Russia, and he was saying, like, the enemies of the people, will be in greatest terror of their lives. They won't, blah 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 blah, whatever. You can watch the show and hear the quote and such. It's powerful as hell. It's very, very powerful. I don't like music that has people talking in it like that. That annoys me, especially when they're black. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't like it. I know you don't like that. I don't like that, do you? One thing that I find extraordinarily irritating is, like, black braggadocio. Like, when they're just bragging, which is essentially all of hip hop. So irritating. Oh, so immensely irritating. Anyway, I'm jumping around again. Oh, time for a commercial. Yeah, it's the Donald Kent Show. It's totally cool. Get your friends together and go to school because you're gonna learn some shit that you really like. I don't know how to rap, so I'll just stop there. That was a pretty cringe rap I just did. So that's like, oh shit, I just lost, like, all my friends. Alright, what's shaking in the chat, guys? Enemies. Wow, a lot of stuff. You guys are going to town, man. Going to town. Um, I, okay, so if you need one, then I'm willing to volunteer as Supreme Commander King of USA. Excellent. Awesome, dude. The USA would be redesigned the United States of Western kind. Dude, I freaking love that. I love that. I'll paint your portrait. So, Imminent Rain says, we've all been propagandized to feel guilt and shame for hating our enemies. Yeah, hate literally means an intense and passionate dislike. The reason people cringe when they hear the word is programming. True. It happens. We must focus our hate into a global flood. Yeah, there's something going on here. You know, there's something going on. Imminent Rain, my point isn't the new word needs to be, that a new word needs to be used. No, that's a retreat. We need to reclaim our words and symbols and undo our Bagalian programming. I'm not sure what Bagalian is, but I understand your point about programming, though. You know, you have a Cash App account. I have a Venmo account. I guess I could make a Cash App account, but if you go to my website, there is a place to donate, and it's a Venmo account. Is that kosher? Is that a thing? But I would deeply and sincerely appreciate any kind of gifts that you guys feel you want to give. You know, I don't put any real time into monetizing this channel, and I always feel like I'm kind of failing or not doing what I don't know, like I'm sort of missing out in some way. But I don't know. Like, one thing I would like to do, though, is sell my book more, is promote my book more. Because, I mean, that has value. I'm giving you my art and my poetry. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a piece of me, you know. I can sell T-shirts and mugs, you know, or I could do that. But I just really feel like, you know, my book is the, like, you could buy my book, for example. If you go to my site, the link to my site, kent-art.weebly.com, is on this YouTube. So, like, if you were to just look at the YouTube, the homepage of it, it's right at the top there. But if you do want to just do a donation, you can, you know, buy me a coffee or whatever it is. Go to my website and look for the donate button. It's probably on the first page. And then I would be extremely grateful for that. That is such a kind gesture. Deeply appreciated. But yeah, like you guys are saying, like it's a kind of brainwashing. It's always directed at whites, like, you know, you guys are the ones that are the hateful ones. Meanwhile, you know, like, other people are just openly hating us all day, every day. You know how it goes. So but this shit, I mean, it's like, to you and I, it's like so obvious that it's such bullshit. You know, we don't fall for it. But I mean, people have careers based on this. There's like critical race theory shills out there that literally, you know, sell books on this. They get paid to do like college tours to, you know, talk about it and all this shit. And like, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know if my new visitor is still here. He or she asked me, like, I don't know what this channel is about, but here I am, you know. So I'm always like, well, you know, I'm about white positive culture, you know. I never really describe myself as a white nationalist, because I feel like if you're an American, like, it's you know, you have other people that live here, are invested in the sort of the history of this country, people that were here before, Europeans, da da da. So like I prefer ethno-nationalist to describe myself, you know. But pro-white, I think, is maybe just the best way to describe it, you know. And comics is just one thing I do. Like, so much more I could be doing. So I recently came across this photograph of me and what's his name? Steve Bannon. Yeah, I have a photo of me with my arm around Steve Bannon. And at the time, it's a long story. I don't know how far to go into it, but essentially, I was going to do this Patriot Convention project, and he wanted to be the key speaker at the event and had all the pieces to get this project started. And then the shit fell apart because certain people didn't do their jobs, and it just fell apart. But you know, this is a sort of one of those things that I still feel like I would love to do that, you know, something of that nature. I mean, I'm a very different person now from when that happened and when I started that, but I'm much more like explicitly white, you know. But there's also the notion that like the whites aren't really, I don't know that all of them are really ready, and like so long as they're kind of, you know, focusing on their culture and understanding like the problems that we face, and they're doing something to stop those problems, then that's good. You know what I mean? I feel like there's always going to be levels of, I don't know, awareness or what have you, you know, of what people are capable of doing, you know. I got some reading to do here, bro. All right, I started at 8:30 and it's 10:30 now. I will look into it. The plan was to send some Bitcoin so that it will turn into more overtime. Oh, that's kind of you. I do have a Coinbase account, so maybe I could get you my Coinbase address. You probably would have to email me, which you can email me from my site again. Baglian is bagels. Okay, that's funny. That's funny. You got your own language there, buddy. Let's get back here. We must flood. Reading. I look into it. Think of your channel as the joy of painting on PBS. Cool. The show needs public funding like Bob Ross. Oh, dude, I gotta get like a big afro wig and then like face docs myself. Draw the pretty Hitler over here and the peaceful swastika over there and happy clouds. Anyway, that's cool. Yeah, I'm glad you feel that way. Eminent Rain says, I like how you aren't constantly shilling stuff. See, there you go. There you go. That's what I mean. Like, I don't like that in other people's shows. But I need money. Anyway, I got money from other resources. I don't know. I feel like someday, somehow, I need to, like, take this channel and just make it, like, pro or something and get, like, way more professional. And make like a lot of money, you know, from it, which I deserve, and I feel like I could do, but I just don't have my head there right now. I don't have my head in that at the moment. Maybe if someone could advise on that, or they have an idea, and it would be like good and not cheesy, you know, that'd be cool. People are hungry for genuine art, real conversation, and true sense of community. Thank you. I think you're a noble path, Zarathustra. Well, thank you, sir. I'm glad that you still recognize the American Zarathustra in me. That means a great deal to me. I was listening to some old American Zarathustra videos and thinking, like, that was a great brand, you know? Uh, you know, like, should I bring it back, you know? There's a reason why I had to let it go, but if I talk about that, then it would defeat the reason why I let it go. See if you can wrap your head around that one. Anyway, we are getting into the next phase of this extended show of Donald Kent American Zarathustra, where we're going into the inking phase, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Conan has his sword, I have the pen. Although, the pen is mightier than the sword. Or no, the sword is mightier than the pen, sorry. I screwed that one up. That's why I'm not professional. Maybe if you spoke English, you could, you know, go pro someday. I could speak with an English accent all the time. Would that be better? Bloody hell. I find like the Scottish accent is definitely the hardest though. Holy shit. And there's this like, I think it's an Instagram account with some guy that teaches how to speak Scottish. And it's a lot of it is slang. Very funny slang. So like you combine that accent with the slang and it's literally like you just can't like it's another language, like you can't understand it, you know. But it's fun. So if I ever immigrate to Scotland, then I'll be talking like that, you know. I'll be like a character in a Guy Ritchie film or something. Okay, I gotta remember to keep it over to the right here. So there was a point someone made and I was going to comment on it and then I lost what that point was. Talking about hate and disgust, and for me, like the whole gay thing is like, I'm not afraid of you, I'm disgusted by you, you know, like, oh, you're homophobic, like this concept, this classic Marxist double talk, like phobia, there's no phobia, it's disgusting, you know, it's vile, disgusting, unnatural, it's hideous. That's how I feel about it, okay? That's what I think about it. It's not phobia. You know, that kind of word, there you go. It's like, it's something to kind of like rob you from your own truth, from your own reality to, you know, I don't know. It's just so fucking frustrating. The psychological warfare that we're under all the time, and it's all linguistics. I mean, obviously there's propaganda and there's the bankers and there's this and there's that, but so much of it is redefining reality through shitty fucking dialectics, you know? Evil, twisted Hebrew dialectics. I'm also like totally done with like trying to convince people about the you-know-who's. I'm like, just, I don't know, I feel like I put my time in on that or something, and it's like, the other half of it is like, our guys are so strong, like so out there now, and so like we've gotten so much done. The horse has left the barn kind of thing, the train has left the station. There's no putting the genie back in the bottle. And then younger generations don't even give a shit. Like, they don't even know history to begin with, which is not good, but they're just, it's done, you know, it's done. So our friends there with the little hats have to find a new lie to peddle, a new gig. A new jig. I was watching the Michael Rappaport show on Twitter the other day, and like it's so out in the open. Like the more he focuses on like, you know, the JQ in his way, then the more he's advertising the whole situation. Because it used to be that you couldn't talk about it at all, like at all. You know, it's like any mention of the you know who's only had to be spoken within the context of, oh, those poor people in the Holocaust, and oh, Judeo-Christianity, oh, whoa, 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 you know, and never, ever, ever any kind of questioning of any kind, you know. It's totally changed now. Eminent Rain says, I think we actually need middlemen. It's just that we must not let them take charge of everything. Yeah, and they tend to do that. It's sort of like they can be, you know, bought out too. Like there's what do you call it? A lot of sort of conservative personalities and the types. They get people try to buy them out. Who was it? Luke Gage. He did a show towards the end there before he got kicked off of Twatter. He said that like I got offered like I don't know how $10,000 or something to like you know come over to the other side and like to stop doing what he was doing. You know, they're basically trying to pay him off or buy him out. Wow, you know. So that happened. But you know, people have egos. It's a kind of a natural thing that you know they're gonna want to sort of feel in control of things and maybe take over or something like that. I think for me, one of the biggest dweebs out there is Tim Pool. Like he's just he can't get past the midwittery of himself and his ego. And like I don't hate the guy or something. I'm not trying to like hurt him or whatever by saying that, but it just there's just so many things that he's you know with the tunnels. Like when the tunnel thing happened, he was right out there with like, oh well, they had to make those tunnels so that they could get around during COVID and like, come on, dude. If you have a show and you're out there doing a show and you're peddling right wing something or other, and then you're saying shit like that, it's again, it all comes down to cowardice. I feel, you know, like you either have the balls to say the truth or you don't, you know. It's totally black and white, you know. There's no middle ground on that. So says American Zarathustra. So on a completely different topic, well, let me check the chat here. I think we actually need middlemen. Conan has double-headed axe. Yes, he does, which is very cool. Destroyers of the all that is vile, angels of death. It's only in the U.S. the movement you step aside. Whoa, hold on. I just lost it. The moment you step outside, it's a given. The reason why I can't read this is because I'm like too close because I'm drawing. I have to step back. It's a given what the small hats are. I'm in Costa Rica and the Catholics have done all my work for me. Wow. Okay. We should talk about Costa Rica at some point. Bought and paid for, yes. I'm sure Tim Pool gets the same script Joe Rogan and Tucker get, but Timmy is a bad actor. That's so well said, guy. That is so well said. It's like, okay, here's the script for this week. We're going to be covering these points here and there, and you need to all be saying the same things. It's like it literally is conservative incorporated, you know. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? That's why alternative media, and that used to be the alternative. It was like, ooh, I'm tuning into a podcast. It's not Fox News. I'm a rebel. uh, all right. Yeah, I feel like if I were to do something, it would have to be something that's never been done before, you know, like not one of these format shows that, you know, everyone's used to. Nobody needs more of that same shit, you know what I'm saying? I had the thought of some kind of like art activism. Hippocratic oath. How do you like living in Costa Rica? I know a lot of Canadians are moving there. Like they can't survive in their country anymore. I've heard a variety of things about like it's set up for foreigners to live there, like foreigners being us, you know, Americans, Canadians, like. I, you know, how do I say this? Like, I guess my view of like Central America is not very positive. I just feel like you're probably just minutes away from some cartel that would kidnap you and cut you to pieces or something, you know, like that kind of shit. I don't know who I think is more dangerous, like Muslims or Hispanics, you know, like in these cartels and shit, you know. It's the fucking demonic, like horrifying, so violent, you know. There you go, that's a good beat. Oh, God. My favorite restaurant is owned by a Canadian. She sold her house in Canada and bought some rentals in Costa Rica. Yeah. Convince me why it's a good thing to move to Costa Rica. You know, like relieve me of the feeling that it's too dangerous. That's kind of a thing that I want to be convinced of that. I'm not going to move there, but I'd like to know why people are, though. You know what I'm saying? To get a better idea of how that works. I'm digging this vibe. Digging it. Kind of can't wait for the end of the month when my house music shows get cooking again. It's been a while since I've gone out, so I just feel it builds up. You're kind of like, I really. The last event I went to actually was disappointing. It's not really even worth talking about. But whatever. All right. So, Western Kind says it does not help that the violence is incentivized by policy of prohibition, making illicit markets exist in the first place. Prohibition equals blank check for money and power. Ugh. Yeah, when I was a teacher, the um, the Spanish teacher at my school, I don't remember where he was from South America somewhere. I can't remember what country. He says he's like been to every country in South America, Central America, and I mean, I just met the guy and we're just chatting and shit. And he's like, I've been all over and everywhere is like, totally corrupt. Like everything is like extremely corrupt down there. It's off the charts. And like he was just dismissing it like it's absurd, it's ridiculous, you know. And I didn't ask him, like that about that. He just like felt so strongly compelled to tell me that. And this is so much as before I was based or whatever, But I'll never forget it though. You know what I'm saying? Like it really gave me the impression like, shit, like whatever you can say positive about these countries, they're essentially they're like shit because of like the corruption. Now, America's corrupt as fuck, so, it's not 100% like, well, thank God I'm here, or whatever, we've got, shit's getting worse and worse and worse. But I don't want to go somewhere where it's even worse, And not only is it even worse, but I'm a fucking white man there. I'm a foreigner there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like, when I was in Asia, I recognized that, like, stay within the lines, like work within the lines, so to speak, like you're not one of them. If something were to go wrong, you really have no rights here. And like, I'll give you an example. There was a case where an English teacher in Taiwan, I don't know where, I don't know the details, but I think he raped a girl or something like that, and it was national news. And then for like at least 2 weeks, everywhere I went, people looked at me like I was the one that did it. Like all you white guys are the same, that kind of thing. And I'm like, fuck this, fuck, I guess you get the idea, Not only that, they've got a very, very active gangster culture, and you're not going to see that in the news. You're not going to know that. But there was a time when I was riding my motor scooter. I guess it was going to work or something. But there was like a really, really major rainstorm, like a kind of not a typhoon, but like a very, very heavy downpour. And I've got like a rain jacket on or whatever, and I'm waiting at the corner and waiting for the traffic, this and that. And it's a lot of traffic. Anyway, light's green, I'm crossing the street, and like in Taiwan, gangsters all drive the same kind of car. So like, when you see that type of car, that it's a gangster driving it. It's just something they do. And this guy came out and like hit I'm 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 driving out and I'm like turning into traffic, and as I was turning into traffic, he came along, like sped along and like ticked the back of my motorcycle. And in the rain, I'm just trying to turn this shit off. In the rainstorm, I started what's it called? Fishtailing, and like violently fishtailing, because I'm already cooking. People are going like 50, 55 miles an hour down this road, and I'm fishtailing like a crazy man in this rain. If I grew up in like a snowy area, so I know how to drive out of that. But if I didn't, I would have crashed, and I probably would have gotten run over by all the cars. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like it was, you know, I mean, and gangster, and nothing would have happened. Like he's a gangster. Like he can just pay off the politicians, the judge, or threaten them and say, I'm not going to jail. Like that guy's some foreigner. Like you're not going to put me in jail for that. So you see, like you don't fuck with those people. You don't do that shit. And so I'm like, why would I want to go to Costa Rica when I know how how gangsters are in South Central America, etc. I think you get the point. It's a long story to make a simple point. I'm here because I needed a government that was hopelessly inept. Because I needed a government that was hopelessly inept, that had no chance of implementing COOF policies outside of the capital. Okay, shit, you were lucky. Yeah, man, that was horrifying. That was a horrifying experience. Good thing you didn't crash. Damn, dude. Yeah. I'll tell you another story. There was a girl in Taiwan who was thrown down a flight of stairs and died. Because she was dating a gangster and she wanted to break up, and he didn't want to break up. And the next thing, they found her with her neck broken at the bottom of this huge staircase. So, like, all this, like, oh, Asia is so nice and la la la, like, shit happens that you don't hear about, believe me, I could tell you even more stories, but they're awful stories, and I don't really want to. Just they're ugly. I don't want to talk about that shit. It's just not fun. But that'll do. Well, that is a rocky looking rock right there. I'm telling you, bros. I know how to rock and roll. Yeah, just stop with the dad jokes, please. Okay. Jesus, man. I tell you, you're doing good at losing all your friends here, bud. Just good. I have to say though, like the Taiwan stories are kind of neat though. I mean, they're pretty wild. Anyway. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I mean, this is kind of a long show. The thing is, I got a lot of work to do, and I shoot the shit or whatever, and we have some fun. But like, I am working. You know what I mean? Like, this is a freelance job. And when these pages get done, I get paid, and then I get the next batch of pages, and then I get paid, and on and on and on. So like, I have a standard with my freelance where I ask for half up front and half on delivery. And I feel that after the years and years of freelancing, that's the best policy. Um, it makes the client like commit, and because they have to put half down, and and it's fair in the sense of like I don't, I you got to keep trust with a client, so I'm not going to get the other half until I deliver, right? So that puts that responsibility on my head, and it's a 50-50. And it's kind of a nice 50-50 sort of relationship, and it's worked out really, really well. So I'm pretty pleased with that. What's nice with this particular job is that there are, I'm understanding there's 5 issues, and then so 5 issues means like you get half up front and half on delivery. So when I finish this, I get the second half of these 15 pages, and then payment for the first half of the next 15 pages. So that's a nice, it's a nice bundle of cash, which I'm really just gonna buy a new car, and all that money's going to the car. But that's fine, I need a new car, so. And then the other freelance job is it's not in the Donald Kent world, it's in my normie world. So I can't talk about it, but it's fine, it's cool. It's a lot of opportunity, a lot of potential growth with that other opportunity. So the only thing I don't like is when people come at me with like, hey, I got this job for you, and you're gonna be able to quit your job and you're gonna get rich and blah 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 blah. It's like, what do they call that? Blowing smoke, right? I think I'm done. So don't blow smoke with me, buddy. Let's see. Long shows are fine. I saw that you were on the last 2 days, but was unable to join in. I'm so grateful that you guys hang out with me. It's really, really nice. Hippocratic Oath says, are you allowed to tell us about the story? I think I would pre-order this comic. Oh, this comic. I'll show you more pages, which is pretty damn cool. We got a little ways to go. I gotta turn this music down. Sorry. Give me a second here. All of that, I'm. It'll come. Just be patient. It's just like, I have a full-time job, and I got a lot of work to do yet on this. But let me show you what I've done so far. Okay, this is gonna blow your mind. So check this out. The funding basically kind of ran out, and then it's been like a long time, and then the funding came back in, and so we're finishing it up. But like, can you see like how many pages are here? Can you kind of get a feel for how much work that is? That's a lot. That's a lot. This is kind of a nice page right here. We got our main character there. You get to see like a montage of like a lot of the characters in the story and what's going on. Some action sequences. And all of these pages have already been colored and lettered. So that half of the story is done. This is pretty fun shit. It's good stuff. Like they say in Comicsgate, make comics fun again. And this comic book delivers. It delivers like in spades. So it's just kick-ass fun. You guys are gonna love it. It's really been a great challenge for me too. It's pushed me a lot in terms of just, my art and all of that stuff. So development, creative development, etc. What helps though is that I'm working with a writer that's extremely creative, and just really, really good with what he does. These are some of the main characters in the story, and I mean, I can't show you everything, And these pages are like falling all over me right now. But it's gonna be a blast. New car. Let's see. I'll keep you guys informed. Don't worry. Are you willing to new car? When I was in middle school, I wanted a Corvette. Oh God, I love Corvettes. I now drive a Ram diesel. Appreciate that people pay attention before attempting to merge. My son almost got killed with some asshole who didn't merge correctly recently, and like he's a young guy, so he's going to college, and just the story that he told me was off the charts. Like, there's just some stupid assholes out there, stupid assholes. And anyway, like, there's been many, many times in the past where somebody would pull some shit, and I'd just start like swearing my head off, like I'm blasting. And it kind of shocked my son to hear me talking like that. Like I'm just, just raging, F-bombs and just, And then finally this shit happened to him. And he's like, Dad, I totally get it now, like I totally get it. Like what the hell? Like, I mean, people can die, Like, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like cars are just like coffins on wheels, you know what I mean? It's not a fucking joke, Anyway, so I hope you guys are enjoying some of these pages that I'm revealing to you. They are off in their own reality, just oblivious. Well, I have my theory about different types of drivers. Like anybody who drives a red truck is generally an asshole, I've discovered. Like a pickup truck that's red. Like they're usually construction workers, and they just generally are super rude on the road. I don't know what's up with that, and I'm sure that that's not totally true or whatever, but it's true to my experience, Perhaps it is time for him to get into the Ram. Yeah, my truck is black. Okay, good. You passed the test, Western Kind. I'm crazy proud of this art, guys. I did like so much for this book. When this thing comes out, it's just gonna be amazing. It's really quite something. But I really feel like this would make a fantastic Netflix series. It's got everything in it too. It depends on sales. Like if this thing somehow blew up and made millions of dollars, then Netflix would be calling us. You know what I mean? And if they did, you can be sure that we would have a lot of control over the subtext, and there would be no Steins or people of certain names on the writing crew or any of that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's what it is. So it is now 11:15, so I believe I am gonna call this the longest show that I've ever done, and say goodnight to you all, my dear friends. Thank you so much for enjoying some time together, enlightening me and making me laugh. It's too bad the author is shy. Just tell him the world is ending anyway. He has nothing to lose. You got a good point there. All right, good night, gang. God bless. I love you all. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next time. Take care. Hit the like button, everybody. Woohoo! Sayonara.